Watching a working woman. As always, she wakes up just before the alarm goes off. As always, she looks at the clock and smiles, but then turns it off before it would start ringing. She doesn't want her child to wake up, not yet. As always, she gets up in the dark and walks into the bathroom. As always, she closes the door first before she turns on the light. As always, she quickly looks into the mirror. Yes, that's her. 40 years old, mother of one, single, working. Would others see a difference from last week, last month, last year? She never does. To herself, she's always the same, sometimes more tired, that's all. As always, she then takes a shower, a progressively hot shower, and very cold in the end. She dries her hair. She makes her face, not much, just a bit around the eyes. But she always puts on lipstick. As always, she opens a crack in the blinds, at eye level, to look at the weather. Only then she selects a dress and puts it on. Quite often she takes it off again and chooses another one. As always, she prepares breakfast for her son and for herself just a cup of coffee. She'll have a bite at the office later. Then she kisses her little boy on the forehead and welcomes him into the day. He's 8 now, soon to be 9. They have breakfast together, sitting next to each other, both looking in the same direction, out of the window, over the rooftops, up to the TV tower. As always, he's still in his dreams, but then again, he never remembers any of them. Later, she drops the boy off at school and drives to work. She drives faster now. She's a good driver. As a student, she drove a taxi at night. At work, she seems another person, efficient, cool, calm, and collected, so she thinks. She doesn't socialize much with other employees. Everybody respects her, but nobody really knows her. She likes that. None of her friends do the same legal work she does. The most boring conversations, she thinks, are among peers of the same trade. For lunch, she always has the same corner table in a small Greek restaurant nearby. There's no menu. You just go into the kitchen to see what's cooking. The chef knows her well and loves to tease her. She always leaves the kitchen laughing. And as always, she eats alone. She likes her job. She has worked in this law firm for several years. By now she has her own office and can close the door if she wants to. Most of her co-workers are men. Sometimes a few of them meet on the terrace for a break and she has a cigarette with them. This is strictly a social act. She used to smoke, but not on her own anymore. She would never buy cigarettes or have them at home. When she turns off her computer at the end of the day, she also turns off her mind from all these legal matters. They are no longer part of her. She never brings work home. She likes driving back, lost in her thoughts. She always listens to music for this half hour. Not just any music, mainly piano music, preferably Bach. She likes Glenn Gould. Sometimes she listens to cantatas too and choirs by Thomas Tallis. Her son jumps back into the car. He's full of stories of the day, good ones and sad ones. School is not easy for him sometimes, as he is of mixed race. Every now and then he suffers abuse or has to digest a nasty word. Nothing his mother can do to help, except telling her son to be strong and good and forgiving and not hold grudges. Sometimes the two of them go for a walk. Very rarely they go shopping, because he doesn't like that so much. And yes, sometimes she thinks that life with a girl would have been easier. Once a week they see a movie. Just the two of them, often the only people in the cinema on a late afternoon. Which films? They mostly decide because they like a title, like Early Spring, or Good Morning, Billy Elliot, It's a Wonderful Life, or The Wizard of Oz. Her boy gets upset by any form of viciousness, and she has decided to protect her child as long as possible from any of this stuff. He'll find out soon enough, she thinks. If by any chance a movie turns violent or mean against people or animals or just in its language, they both get up in unison without even discussing it and walk out. Phew, and they laugh it off. Then at home her son has to do his homework while she buys groceries or once a week does the washing. She loves staring at the washing machine as if it was a TV set, or watching the remote-controlled vacuum cleaner do its work. They eat dinner together, always with a candle on the table. This is the time of day when they talk together about everything. And sometimes they tell each other jokes. Do you know this one? How does a red elephant fit into the back of a Mini? Then the boy goes to bed and she kisses him good night. She needs to leave a light on and the door half open. And now she has a couple of hours for herself. She sits down and writes letters. She writes with her favorite fountain pen. When she makes a mistake or has second thoughts about a line she wrote, she tears the page apart and starts from scratch. She corresponds regularly with a lot of people. As always, she seals her letters, puts stamps on them, and the next day will make a short stop at a mailbox. Then she goes to bed, but as always reads for another couple of hours. She loves reading, always several books at the same time. There are stacks and stacks of them by her bedside. Philosophy, poetry, but novels too, mostly thrillers or murder mysteries. She likes nothing better than end the day with a few pages by Raymond Chandler, Dashiell Hammett or James McCain, and the fast dialogue of their hard-boiled detectives. Farewell, my lovely, Double Indemnity, Red Harvest. Then she dozes away into the big sleep.
Okay.